Hi.
Hi. Should we get some housekeeping out of the way? We have a Patreon now, guys.
Yes.
A lot of people have been asking us about the Patreon.
Sorry this episode is late.
Yeah.
Maybe if some of you hopped on to Patreon and made things right, we'd have the resources to get this
generate the content.
Until then, I don't really think we owe anyone shit, so...
Yeah. Donate to our Patreon. So a pro tip from Nick Mullen is to keep the mic on our chin.
Mm-hmm.
We were just informed, so I'm trying to do that. We're very used to having cold, hard objects balancing on our chins. So this is like the principle that we're employing for this podcast, so excuse us if there's any interference.
And if it sounds real good, thank you, Nick Mullen.
Yeah, bravo.
We're also broadcasting from Adam and Dasha's smoking
man
room.
cave. Yeah.
Our podcasting recording studio / cigarette
chamber. Yeah. So should we jump right into it, or do we want to go through the hot news items?
Let's touch on the hot news items of the week. We've got Kanye.
So Kanye is all right now.
Kanye's been going off on Twitter for over the last few days. He took a real turn today and started posting pics of his MAGA hat, and then Kim jumped in and told people to stop calling him mentally ill.
Yeah.
Even though really he's just participating in the Twitter culture.
Yeah, and I object to this, like, reading of Kanye as mentally ill, because mentally ill he may be, but it also, like, in our culture we have this idea that, like, mentally ill people are also tortured geniuses, and Kanye is sort of like I said on Twitter, like a brainy quote that gained sentience. It's, I appreciate Kanye for his artistic instincts, and I can sort of sympathize there, but as far as like his actual opinions go, they're kind of thoroughly mundane and banal.
And all over he had a tweet yesterday that said life is better than the movie.
Yeah. And my favorite one was like life, the whole world is an office.
That's right.
Kanye has finally come around to like the open floor plan thing. Yeah, he's like, the world is a WeWork.
But he also tweeted today that we should all destroy our Excel spreadsheets and stuff.
Yeah, he's all over the place. He's like the
world is a co-working space.
Yeah, the world is a co-working space. He's like, a guest on HGTV, like, Mr. Gorbachev, tear that wall down. Delete that Google Doc.
Yeah. I also resent people calling him crazy, because to me, celebs that shill for Hillary seem just as insane.
Yeah, they totally seem hysterical and deranged.
Yeah, like it's the same. He's just taken a different approach.
Yeah. And Kanye, I guess, tweeted out a picture of him posing with Leora Cohen and Sir Lucian Charles Grange, who I'm not familiar with that guy, but
who are they?
For the music,
they look Jewish and sexy. And Kanye is MAGA now, and he's also like a Zionist, probably.
Sure.
And he's wearing like the Make America Great Again hat, which is a good look. I mean, it's like a very Batman Balenciaga on brand look.
He is very stylish.
Yeah. And what else do we have? We have the Dazed 100 list that came out today.
We're not on it.
We're not on it.
We're not on it.
As is no one I've heard of.
It's really like the highest honor not to be included in a Dazed 100 list.
Wait, my British hot teen,
Who?
Jimothy is on it.
Yeah, Jimothy Lacoste, who's like an alt-Brit rapper.
Okay. There's an Estonian rapper on it as well. His name is Tommy Cash.
Yeah, that sounds like an oxymoron.
But in his little blurb, they hailed him for being like a great post-Soviet artist.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I would pretty much do anything to be even a low-ranking member of the Dazed 100
list.
I like how democratic it is. You get to vote.
Yeah, I upvoted some random people just because I worship chaos.
Yeah. I admit, on the other hand, have not heard of the Dazed 100 list until today.
Meg and I told you to talk about it.
So that was exciting.
I'm sort of envious. That
yeah,
we live in a
I
world
wish
that
I
you didn't
wish I
know
could
what
forget,
that
yeah.
was.
It's like Dazed and ID are part of like the whole like Petra Collins kind of downtown New York art scene of like elevating no-name people to like fleeting stardom.
Well, they were going to feature me, and then they rescinded it.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think they just, I was maybe slightly more relevant a couple weeks ago.
It's
Yeah.
that 24-hour news cycle, Dasha. You're a victim. You fell prey to it.
They saw the InfoWars interview.
Yeah.
I was really riding high off of that. I haven't really. The dopamine dip I took after that stuff
Yeah.
being circulated was.
Yeah, and here we are now doing a podcast. So is it true that Kanye is going to be, Alex Jones asked him to be on InfoWars? Because that would be really big.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I don't know. Somebody, one of
Alex
you
Jones, I think, did tweet at him. I doubt he'll do it.
I think
I
he
don't
should
think
do it.
they're-
He could be a star just like you. He could really get
He should
elevate
start.
his profile.
He needs to start hawking like the Goop Alex Jones product. For
Jade pussy.
Yeah.
They're not like aestheticized enough, I think, for Kanye.
I mean, I think I happen to think that while InfoWars is like politically confusing and reprehensible, they're really at the cutting edge of like
Conspiracy
aesthetics. That's where we're going. Well, this is the thing with Kanye is that like he has great artistic instincts, and while he's probably not a great genius and of average intelligence, he can pick up on like an aesthetic trend when he sees it.
I mean, he's also just a rich person.
Yeah.
He's behaving
So bored.
like
Yeah.
classic. He started tweeting those pictures of his house
Yeah.
and his whole fixation on the sunken place.
Yeah, I mean, I would be bored too if I was a rich person and my like contemporaries, like the people that I broke bread with, were like Jay-Z, like Helen Mirren, Meryl Streep.
Well, no rappers have like come out with criticisms of him
Of Kanye, yeah.
because they don't want to work with him.
Yeah, yeah.
Chance the Rapper tweeted like, black people don't have to be Democrats. Which is true, but they also don't have to be.
Wait, that happened recently?
Yeah. Sort of in light of the Kanye stuff.
But they have to be Christian, right?
Or maybe he'll convert to
Or like Nation
Judaism.
of Islam. Yeah, I think Kanye's next big move.
He'll either transition,
Following Dasha.
Maybe we could be shul buddies.
Mm-hmm.
or
See
he'll
you at
become
the-
a woman.
See you at the mikvah, bitch.
I think Kanye should become a Jewish woman. Kanye was
The real
like an Israeli
transparent.
name. Yeah. Yeah. So speaking of celebrities who shill for Hillary, we went on another
Right.
movie excursion last weekend.
Their field trip.
I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, we saw Amy Schumer's new film, I Feel Pretty, which has the distinction of being the first film ever to be totally generated by an algorithm, which scrapes rom-com data from Wikipedia and IMDb to generate the ultimate chick flick.
And Flash Soul Cycle commercial.
Yeah. Though, like, in terms of, like, how painful it was to watch, I would put it more in the camp of, like, serious dramas like The Shawshank Redemption or Schindler's List.
What's more grating is hearing people react and laugh to her jokes.
Oh, people were.
It was a
like,
full house.
hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
Those
People were
broads,
cracking up.
really.
So
We're
the
having
film,
a good time.
it starred Amy Schumer as Renee, a deeply insecure woman with cripplingly low self-esteem who falls and hits her head at a Soul Cycle class and wakes up.
Cameo from Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah. And she wakes up basically feeling like a supermodel, even though nothing about her looks has changed, and sets out to conquer the world.
Very familiar to the plot of Shallow Hal.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
And it's lifted from another film too.
I saw that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was that one called? The
Enchanted something
Yeah,
cottage or
it's
something.
old.
No, so I mean, basically, what I glean the moral of the story is that the way to female empowerment is through traumatic head injury. And I guess, I mean, I'm kidding. I guess the moral is that looks don't count, and like your confidence is within or whatever.
But also that being her self-perception of being beautiful actually made her like alienate those around her.
Yeah, and she turns into like a raging narcissist.
I would never turn Busy Phillips away as a friend.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Busy Phillips was one of the highlights of this otherwise totally not redeemable movie. The others
And
were
Michelle Williams.
Oh, great performance.
who
by
plays
Michelle
like
Williams.
the CEO of the cosmetics company, Lily LeClaire, where Amy Schumer works, and speaks in a "I was diddled by my uncle" voice, you know. And Rory Scovel, who plays her love interest in the film, I guess he's like a stand-up
charming.
comic. He's charming. And you know, in keeping with its like liberal feminist bona fides, this is kind of like the sort of emoji, like rose emoji, male feminist guy that a woman like Amy Schumer, like a careerista, would pick up. He looks like a card-carrying member of the DSA. He's like the kind of guy who would ask for permission to like kiss you or pay you a compliment. Right?
Antioch College, like, can I get some written consent here?
Yeah, and so, I mean, I feel like when I was watching this film, I felt like I Feel Pretty is really like the ultimate parable, morality tale of liberal feminism, and that it sort of, I guess, like perpetuates two of its biggest, most persistent myths. The first one being that, you know, you should be very casual about sex and very fanatical about work when it's the other way around. And I think the second one is that, you know, you should only want to look good for yourself, and that looking good for, you know, God forbid men or other women is false and phony. And I was watching this and thinking like, well, you know, what's the point of looking good if you can't attract a mate or at least like tame some strange?
True.
Yeah. Like the only reason I've ever endeavored to look good or like work out is so that the opposite sex thinks I'm hot. But it
Or
doesn't
so
even,
that women are jealous.
or women are jealous. And it doesn't even have to be like, it doesn't even, it's not even a straight thing. You know, if you're a lesbian or gay, you're like trying to look good for the same sex. It doesn't matter.
I mostly work out because I'm bloated.
But it's kind of like bizarre, like in our culture, that people teach you, or we're taught that like looking good is like a form of self-empowerment. I mean, it's only a form of self-empowerment because it's a function of somebody else's like enjoyment.
Well, feeling good, especially, is feeling good about yourself.
And like in the movie, Renee, Amy Schumer's character, even takes a pay cut. She works, her job is like as a website manager for the cosmetics company, and she works out of this like grody Chinatown basement, and she takes a pay cut to become a receptionist at the company's HQ in like the Flatiron.
Not only does she take a pay cut, she also then becomes this like ambassador for their sort of
Diffusion
line, where she delivers this TED Talk sort of at the climax of the film. It seems like she wasn't paid for at all. She like went on to do all this like extra work completely for free.
Yeah, so I guess the other moral of the story is that if you want to feel empowered, you have to become an unpaid intern.
Yeah.
For like a cosmetics brand, like it's sort of like sequential capitalist outfit.
Dove campaign working class puppet.
Yeah, and
very reminiscent of the.
It is, yeah,
Which is like a fraud of that campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the other thing, that, you know, the Dove thing, like, you know, if there's one lesson that we were supposed to glean from our like liberal arts educations, or like exorbitantly expensive liberal arts educations, was that, you know, all marketing is aspirational. It's like the idea, like the Marlboro Man and like Playboy bunnies, and the idea that sex sells. But increasingly that's not the case anymore, and marketing is almost like on the surface like anti-aspirational, because now it like prominently features ordinary people. And like, you know, the Dove ads had the distinction, I think they really started this trend like 10 years ago by putting quote real women in their ads.
I can't wait for hot women to be in ads.
Back, and I know, and here's the thing,
This is why Emrata has her whole shtick where she's like, it's hard being a beautiful woman.
Well, yeah, I mean, but this is the thing, I was thinking about this, I don't want to be sold a product by a person who's less attractive than me, because how the fuck will I know that it's working?
Exactly.
And like, so basically at the end of the movie, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, she delivers basically what is like a very rousing TED talk to an audience at the launch of the brand's diffusion line for ordinary women. The other thing that we should talk about is the tagline, which is change everything without changing anything.
That was the diffusion.
The tagline of the movie. No, it was on the poster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like, how sad is that?
Pathetic.
And I think it's supposed to be uplifting, but it just comes off as, like, ominous. It actually, it reminds me of what The Last Psychiatrist said about narcissism. The Last Psychiatrist is a blog by an anonymous psychiatrist who was later doxxed and stopped working, and it's, like, where I plagiarize all my finest material, that and Camille Paglia. And it reminded me what he said about narcissism, that it's not, like, egomania or grandiosity, as the psychiatric profession commonly defines it, but that it's kind of self-obsession in the absolute sense. So it encompasses like the extreme
negative narcissism.
Yeah,
as
like
well.
extreme self-love and extreme self-loathing.
Or
and
the idea that everyone else around you is preoccupied with you as well.
Yeah.
And we're all falling victim to Amy Schumer's fake pro-woman anti-bullying campaign.
Yeah. And primarily, his definition of narcissism is like that it's a defense mechanism against change, which is what this tagline really kind of makes explicit. Yeah. And so, like, when she's not, working herself to death in this, like, Chinatown basement outpost, she's, like, butt-chugging makeup tutorials and, like, the sort of women's magazines that you see at the nail salon, where it's like the first 40% of it is fashion ads, and like
she has this very adolescent disposition.
That no woman has. I mean, maybe the kind of women that go
I think a lot of
and like
the women who are at the movie theater.
Yeah, and it's like you open up Cosmopolitan and Allure, and it's like 50% ads, and then the other 50% are like guides on how to get, like, increasingly woke guides on how to give a blowjob to somebody with a micro penis, or like
how to do enough Kegels. Boyfriend micro penis inside you.
Yeah, or like splurge versus steal articles for crossbody bags to hide your shameful fat rolls. And so like. That's sort of what the Last Psychiatrist was saying about the Dove ads. The whole like kind of culture-wide lowering of the bar for physical attractiveness is for people on one hand who don't want to have to conform to quote society's unrealistic standards, but on the other hand cannot bear the existential terror of not conforming to some standard
or consuming something.
Yeah, and so they want the bar lowered by an external objective authority. And in a sick, twisted way, it almost seems like you would have better luck changing the culture of society around you than you would actually have to change yourself. And like there's like the bigger issue. I was reading an article by Amanda Hess, her review of I Feel Pretty in the New York Times.
Oh, okay.
And where she does mention Shallow Hal, which is the 2001 comedy where Jack Black falls in love with Gwyneth Paltrow in a fat suit. And she writes how it, quote, located extreme beauty standards in the minds of men, whereas I Feel Pretty places the blame on women. And, quote, this is a quote from her, "The truth is the locus of responsibility is maddeningly elusive. Social media, though, serves as a pretty apt approximation of the panopticon."
Panoptic.
Yeah, mic drop.
Reads Foucault.
Yeah. And Hess's point is that beauty standards for women are just as strict, if not more so than they were, but that their culture now operates under, like, is swept under, all these things are swept under the rug by a rising tide of beauty standard denialism.
I feel like more people embrace people speak more openly about their skincare regimens or their plastic surgery or their Botox or whatever. I think it's somewhat more accepted to speak about it.
Yeah,
which is
now
kind of a little bit opposite of the film also too.
Yeah, and like, but like on the surface, this all seems very anti-aspirational, and I, for one, find myself longing for like impossibly athletically thin women and rugged hot men to be back in ads. But on the other hand, it is aspirational because it makes you feel aspirationally better about yourself, and you never quite attain it. And she talks about how like beauty has been rebranded as like lifestyle, and health has been rebranded as wellness, and this is all
acceptance
and acceptance. Yeah.
Well, Shallow Hell's a great example because look where Gwyneth Paltrow is now.
Yeah.
With like a full brand.
Yeah, I'm really longing for like waifs to come back.
Me too.
Because that's
like heroin chic.
I can actually really get behind and aspire to. Whereas like getting a giant ass is a little bit.
It's telling you all you have to do is live.
I know, but I could just starve myself if that was chic.
Yeah, if it was cool again. But that's the other thing that like, you know, on some level, if you will allow me to indulge my my latest polemic, you know, all this stuff that's been like probably a decade old, like Family Guy or King of Queens or the Charmin Bears, like those toilet paper mascots.
I hate those poverty mentalities.
It's poverty mentality. It's like all these late night commercials for male maxi pads to contain your incontinence, and it's all like part of this like Mike and Molly industrial complex of like neutralizing and cutifying like morbid obesity, because for like the shadowy bottom line of some like Chinese conglomerate ultimately. And like, you know, if you look at any major network, if you tune in like after 8 o'clock, it's like, you know, Pussy from The Sopranos or like Paul Blart Mall Cop selling man pawns because men can't like, you know, cannot contain like the industrial grade waste that's like seeping from their colons.
Oh God.
Yeah, because you just like butt chugged like a big gulp or a crave case, and it's really terrifying.
Well, it's important we say butt chug.
Yeah, I have to say it a lot. It's my favorite. I like shoehorn too.
I saw some very twee erectile dysfunction ads on the subway today.
Me too.
Those Roman.
Yeah. Well,
wait, what are these?
They're like erectile dysfunction pills you can order online.
Are they like? Is it like a Casper mattress of Viagra?
It's millennial Viagra. Yeah.
And the branding
no
is
prescription needed, or
I'm not
OTC?
sure how it works. I mean, you can get it
think
online.
It's like
you can get a prescription online.
Oh.
I assume is how it works, but their whole campaign is like 0% of men have erectile dysfunction, but 52% have a friend who does. Like it's kind of this like tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, it's basically like a hip neoliberal delivery service like you would have for weed or food, but for erectile dysfunction pills.
Loser boyfriend can't get it off.
Yeah. But it's crazy. It's actually really bleak how like the target market for erectile dysfunction is like the Berlin to Mexico City like L train pipeline of 30-somethings who work at creative agencies and like live in subprime Williamsburg and like should not be having erectile dysfunction problems.
Wait, so go back to your Mike and Molly thing, because Melissa McCarthy is, you know, I just saw her on the cover of Glamour. She's a boss.
Yeah, well, she's a girl boss. Yeah,
she's a girl boss. $5 to whatever highest paid, one of the most highest paid Hollywood actresses.
Mm-hmm. Is that true?
It's true.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Well, I think
but she made it on the backs of this character, basically.
Mm-hmm. Of this character that's like Melissa McCarthy, Amy Schumer, and probably to like a lesser extent Lena Dunham are like the perfect vehicles of this new kind of like neoliberal marketing, in that they make people who look like them or look worse than them feel kind of like they're getting proper representation in mainstream culture, and they make people who look better than them feel kind of like benevolent and sane and superior for supporting them.
Feels good.
Yeah, so in that sense it is aspirational, and you know, like the movie theater that night was filled with
bleach.
A lot of bleach. Attractive 30 and 40 something liberal feminist women who, you know, if you polled them, would never want to look like Amy Schumer.
It's weird that, like, you're saying these neoliberal, like, Casper ad mattresses, like this kind of brand of thinking, that their spokespeople are, like, as you said before, human bean bags.
Yeah.
Why not pick someone hot?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because I guess it's alienating to like the rising population of like morbidly obese people in the American
In flyover country?
Yeah.
Backlash where I feel pretty on Twitter before it even came out, where people were saying like, this is a movie where Amy Schumer is supposed to be ugly, yet she is cis, white, like able-bodied, etc., like listing all her like privileges, none of which bar her from being totally hideous, which
she totally is, like,
completely
newsflash.
is. She look like, you can still look like shit.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of the day, when she's like strutting around in her mini skirt and heels, she looks fine. Like, it's just the problem's her face.
Her face,
Face is bad.
yeah.
Like,
But it's not enough now that ordinary people are like in the limelight for being like fat or ugly or disabled or like, differently abled or whatever.
Retarded.
Yeah, because like, you know, yeah, like literally
oh,
retarded.
by the way, R.I.P. Vern Troyer.
Yeah, all right, rest in peace, mini-me. Because, you know, according to this whole, like, new vanguard of, like, neoliberal identity politics, you have to define yourself now not through positive attributes, or attributes that were previously seen as positive, like your ethnic background or religious affiliation. Now you have to define yourself through adversity, so you have increasingly, like, hot people who are like, well, no, you don't understand. It's really painful and
Yes,
hard being
right,
going
exactly.
through life as an extremely beautiful woman. I live this every day. Like, you know, Emily Ratajkowski, who is Amy Schumer's co-star. She plays her hot friend, and you know, she rose to fame jiggling her tits in a Robin Thicke video. Wrote a piece
Incredible.
for
Big
Lenny Letter.
Also
Yeah,
colludes
yeah.
with Kim K.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the topless selfie.
Yeah, and she wrote a piece about how hard it is being a beautiful woman, and then sort of reprised that. And then there was a recent article in The Cut, an anonymous article from this woman who talked about
Growing up beautiful.
yeah the dark, like the seedy underbelly of beauty privilege,
Which is, people are jealous of you.
of you, yeah. And there was all these anecdotes from that article about how like women tried to sabotage her at work, and then men didn't, you know, give her a fair shake in romantic life. And I was like, left me wondering, like, well, you know, maybe you have a shitty personality.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, that's all over the article. I mean, I experienced some discrimination in a review of that movie. I was in the Eugene directed Wobble Palace. After our South by premiere, I read a review that was like mostly mixed positive, and then sort of the critique of it was that the movie pornified me, that I was like so objectified in it, and that there's a scene where I masturbate, and the reviewer, whose name I don't remember, said like we were supposed to believe that like a woman is actually like sucking her thumb when she's masturbating, and sort of puts the lotus of responsibility on the filmmakers when it's like, as an actress, I made that decision. Maybe I do suck my
Yeah,
thumb when
loser,
I
you're never around.
masturbate. And like, if I wasn't, not that I'm like so beautiful, but if I wasn't like conventionally attractive, no one would ever have that critique. And
Yeah.
I'd be like applauded as being like brave for showing my tits in a movie rather than exploited.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like, you know, Lala from Vanderpump sucks a baby bottle to feel good about herself in distress at the end of the night.
Infantilizing yourself feels good.
The worst thing to happen to me is honestly just going to Christmas and having an uncle linger a little too long for a hug.
Yeah, that's happened to me, but that's the secular Jewish gathering.
The hot knees.
Yeah.
I can say that being conventionally hot has done nothing but improve my life.
Your lot in life, yeah.
100%.
Yeah, and
People like to be around you.
Yeah.
You can smile at them and they appreciate it.
They
like,
laugh at your jokes,
they'll laugh
even
at
if
your
they're not
jokes.
funny.
Yeah.
It can take you places.
Yeah,
It really can. Yeah, you're just, most of my interactions with people are much more pleasant than they would be if I looked like shit.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, none of us know what it's like to look like shit on some level, and yet we look like shit comparatively on another level. And it's like, you know, what my mother always used to say, which I think she didn't make up. It's like, you know, a Kanye aphorism. Like, you know, there's always going to be somebody prettier than you, and always going to be somebody richer than you, and also there's always going to be on the flip side somebody uglier and poorer than you.
Sure.
So
Well,
it's a
you know-
sliding scale, ladies.
At the end of the day, all of Amy Schumer's jokes her entire Netflix special is basically talking about her having sex and being a whore. So
Yeah.
it's not stopping her from anything.
No, I'd say she gets more play than any of us because she's for sure ready, willing, and able.
Right.
There's nothing men like more than an ugly girl who's willing to let you finger them in a
Functional
cab.
orifice.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone in our male demo of our audience has fucked a chubby girl.
Well, I have no doubts.
Yeah, and it's like, in some sense, it's true. Like this whole idea that like pretty people have a better life. It's true and not true because at any moment you could be like hit by a bus or struck
Someone
down
could
by
throw-
cancer.
Or someone could throw acid in your face.
Yeah,
Turkish I vote.
yeah. It's horrifying, and I was thinking about how like in America, something that my sister always says is like American culture is really like great. American capitalist culture is very good at pathologizing normalcy and normalizing pathology.
Yeah.
And that's what we have here with like movies like this. It's sort of like making being an ordinary person an exceptional experience, which it's not.
No.
Yeah. And my philosophy of life is always like, you have a certain lot in life. You have to have a stiff upper lip and take it, and spin lemons into lemonade or whatever.
Right. Well, that's very.
Yeah, and if you're ugly, you have to like get really good at telling jokes and get really good at sucking dick.
Wait, so I have a question for both of you,
Yeah.
since you're both Jewish. I mean, you have Joan Rivers, you have like Sarah Silverman. It's kind of shitty that Amy Schumer sucks so much.
Meaning, wait, what's the question?
She's not funny.
She used to be funny.
She used to be funny. I liked her. I mean, I was really excited to see Trainwreck when that came out.
It's the one with like LeBron
With Bill
and
Hader.
Bill Hader. Okay.
Where she is a train wreck. She's kind of like a messy whore.
Mm-hmm.
That's all she plays.
Yeah, but when this was before like the fatigue really set in, but when that came out I remember being like, wow, it was like finally a movie for people like me.
Yeah. Messy
And I
whores.
liked her first special. She's like, I mean, yeah, pretty much indisputably sucks now, but
Yeah,
But
that's
like
what
I was
happened.
telling you guys earlier this week that like that's a lot of her work that's been stolen.
yeah, she's a joke stealer.
Yeah,
And
Which is
an
an art form unto itself.
and her skits are lifted too.
yeah. I mean,
I don't know. I was looking into it this week and it was kind of
You were
fascinating
disappointed.
how much and how like
I've heard
obvious it is.
yeah. Well, Meg, you were saying this is the big strike against Amy Schumer is that she's sort of this ostensible. She's kind of a self-appointed feminist mouthpiece, but has been accused of stealing jokes, and
From
she steals
women.
jokes from other female comics.
Yeah.
Like almost exclusively, which isn't. I mean, it's not to say that specifically is anti-feminist, because Amy Schumer is a female comic who traffics in a particular brand of female comedy. So ergo, the jokes
Which
that
is most female comedy.
Yeah,
so
it's like
unfortunately.
life stuff. You're talking about sex and
yeah.
like
So the jokes
If you're a
that would
female
appeal to
comic,
her.
you're basically dating is the material that you can,
Yeah, or like your sordid sex tales.
or feeling bad about yourself.
yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it's not only just a joke stealing. It's like a lack of originality problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
that's all comics. I mean, that's all
lowest
creative
common
industries.
denominator. I mean, most successful comics, male or female, do sort of pander in mediocrity.
Yeah, as Kanye says, if you really love an idea, you have to let it go.
Sure.
And
Yeah, and let
if it
Amy
loves
you
you,
have
it'll
to
come
give it
back
to
to you.
Amy Schumer
Yeah.
and make more money off it than you do.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like after you gross a certain amount of net worth, you sort of cease being like a liberal or democratic or feminist icon. Even
Yeah.
like
Well, she has so much power that the comics she stole from like rescinded their accusations
yeah.
because they're like afraid of
Very
her.
shady.
Yeah, it's like a non-sexual version of Me Too. Everybody lives in fear of Amy Schumer. And like, I mean, that's the thing. she's so powerful that it's really irrelevant whether or not she's hot. When I was watching I Feel Pretty, I was thinking like, well, you know, if I could suffer a traumatic head injury, I would like to wake up rich, because then I could just buy my beauty.
Exactly.
I can get all the cosmetic procedures. Yeah. Get some lipo, some Kybella.
Fillers.
Shit's expensive.
Yeah. I think that would have been a more authentic portrayal of like women's concerns and issues in 2018.
If you could get one, what plastic surgery procedure would you get?
An actual like under the knife situation, not just injectables.
I mean, whatever. You get one. Like, you get a great coupon.
Okay, timeline it before or after having a child.
Now, tomorrow.
No, we can't traffic in such heavy hypotheticals.
Tomorrow we're going to the plastic surgery doctor clinic.
You get nose job.
Nose job? Meg,
you have a great nose.
Yeah,
I mean, viewers or
same.
listeners, you can't see, but Meg has a great nose and a great ass. Dasha?
Lip fillers. Easily.
See, I'm looking at you gals, and I'm like, you don't need any of this. I am going to repeat what I said on Twitter, because the only way to be memorable is to repeat yourself loudly and often. I am going to get my teeth removed and replaced with removable dentures so I can give better blowjobs.
So, hit that Patreon button.
Yeah, because we all need to get a lot of work done.
Yeah.
50,000.
Mentally and physically.
Or maybe, well, Stassi had her jaw fixed.
She had that
She had
kind of
everything.
jacked up chin
She
job.
did. I've been
Yeah.
considering a chin job just because it seems like it's really done a lot for her.
Maybe just start with like jade
Jessica.
rolling.
Jade rolling.
Really, where you like clear out your lymphatic system. It's a little like Ayurvedic.
Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
Meg.
Yeah. I don't know. Start simple.
Well, you know who hasn't probably fucked a chubby girl? Is the leader of that Brooklyn sex cult.
He is definitely
Adam Friedland.
But part of his whole thing that Alice and Mac and the leader of Nexium were arrested this week.
You said that earlier.
Keith Raniere.
Keith Raniere.
Raniere.
Is his name. And he likes them thin. He
Yeah.
likes them 80 to 90 pounds.
Yeah, he likes them on
And
that low
branded.
calorie
This is
your
diet.
demographic. You do seem kind of like someone that would get
Who would join
a cult or get
Nexium.
sex traffic.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is
A compliment.
Yes, I've had that thought. I feel like I'm like the prime demo for joining a cult.
Yeah.
Actors. That's why all these actresses are
Virgin
actors
suicide.
are so pathetic. They're so willing to like be a vessel for something.
Yeah.
And to have someone tell them what to do.
Vessel for cum.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or ideas.
Marxist ideas and hot cum. So the sex cult leader Keith Raniere was tracked down in Mexico by U.S. authorities after, quote, months-long manhunt and charged with sex trafficking and forced labor. And he kind of ran this lifestyle pyramid scheme called Nectar.
Called Goop.
Yeah.
Called the Wing.
And he has like a really impressive roster of celebrities that signed on for this, like Sheila Johnson, the co-founder of BET, Antonia Novello, the former U.S. Surgeon General, Emiliano Salinas, the son of the former Mexican president. They hosted the Dalai Lama at a speaking engagement. Goldie Hawn, a former co-star of Amy Schumer, pulled out of a speaking engagement. And Allison Mack, who's a former actress on Smallville, was charged as an accomplice.
She was sort of the highest.
Yeah, she
and
was
one of the main recruiters.
Yeah, and she was like grooming and recruiting the women into a cult. I'm really upset that they busted this operation when they did, because I would have liked a kind of like Heaven's Gate or Jim Jones type mass suicide.
Oh God.
They're they're no longer recruiting because of the bad press, but they have moved to Brooklyn.
Okay.
And now they're like gearing up to fight this damn thing.
Yeah.
And I hear they have some really nice slave pods that they're standing in.
We have a slave pod too. It's called Red Scare. You may have heard about it. And so he was like he was accused of like branding initials into the flesh of his acolytes and forcing them to wear fake cow udders, which sounds like something out of an Amy Schumer skit from like back when she was funny.
I don't know, I could really picture her cattle herding all these like 90-pound bitches.
She could really rip on those. Yeah.
The thing that was kind of like revealing to me was that this weird sex cult is probably a lot more in line with women's secret fantasies. Like he expected his acolytes not only to be like sexually submissive and available at all times, but thin and fit. And according to the New York Post, quote, the women were ordered by their masters to have sex with Raniere and endure torture, including sleep deprivation, ice-cold showers, and extreme low-calorie diets. Sounds like a lot of fun to me. No, it sounds like being a woman under neoliberalism. I mean, this is like routinely what we do to ourselves in our like open offices and tiny cubicles, but like, you know, guys, it feels... Yeah, it feels so much better when daddy is doing it too. When you have like a paternalistic authority imposing all these strictures from above, that's the dream.
Well, the group within NXIVM was called DOS.
Yeah.
What's that?
It was an acronym derived from a Latin phrase that translated to Master of the Obedient Female Companion.
Ooh.
Daddy.
Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy.
Wow. Wait, did you guys see so the court sketches?
Mm-hmm. I saw the court sketches. Someone sent me a video of him being arrested, and then the women sort of like trailing out after him.
Yeah, that's like amazing. Well, they apparently piled into a pickup truck and pursued his captors when they like took off with him in Mexico.
I love this one because she looks like Jerry Blank.
Yeah.
And this is
She's like frowning.
It's the same sketch artist that did Martin Shkreli.
Oh.
And Tom Brady.
Martin Shkreli and Tom Brady. They all look like Larry King.
Yeah.
This woman has an obsession with cheekbones, obviously, but
an eye for the gaunt, haunted face of
yeah, she has like a garish sociological gaze. She's like you know, a German expressionist from the Weimar era or whatever. But like a lot of people are surprised that these like beautiful, smart, ambitious women not only signed up to be part of the cult and rallied around the leader, but also were kind of knowingly open to being his sex slaves when they kind of were aware that there were other women around. And you know, one of the former,
they would brand them in front of each other and make them videotape it.
Yeah, and that sort of goes against like the common wisdom that women are jealous and competitive and can't stand other women sharing a man. One of the former members called it, quote, secret polygamy.
wait, so what's the deal? Like, does he bankroll their life?
Good
Do they get like
question.
free rent or something?
I don't know.
Well, the whole NXIVM itself is this elaborate pyramid scheme.
Oh, so they have to get
all
money
of
to it.
Scientology,
Okay.
where you buy into these like these courses and seminars and stuff. I think it functions a very similar way
Like
to
above
that.
ground,
Okay.
above board as a, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like,
So they're not like held captive in a basement, like.
no, I think they're allowed to, but I thought like, well, is it really
So we're not going to be able to
No. It's too late for us girls.
Wait, why?
But
That's why you don't have any money.
I was like, you know, is it so surprising that professionally successful women are like chomping at the bit to have their responsibility taken away from them? I mean, this is like the basic principle behind like S&M, or it's like certainly explains like the popularity of something like Handmaid's Tale.
Definitely. Or even the inverse of like the way successful businessmen or financiers or whatever, the common mythology that they like to get like pissed on and have cigarettes put out on them to be dominated, because when you're so like crushed under the tyranny of liberalism, you're just looking to like relinquish a little bit of
any
agency.
power, and I thought it was really comical that this guy had all these like really hardline criteria for what his followers, like female followers, had to look like. Like, you have to be pretty and skinny and successful and like have your initials branded on yourself, because like, have you guys seen this guy?
He's just not like...
He like looks like Dove Charney ate Terry Richardson or something.
Maybe he was cute. I mean, he's been at it for 20 years.
Yeah. I thought it was like a little too charitable to even say that he looks like, you know, a classic Tips Fedora seduction community guy. He really looks like you know, an incel who could have become like a MAGA guy on 4chan, but due to like fortuitous circumstances ended up joining the DSA. Like, this man looks horrifying.
Well, charisma's, you know, mysterious. Incels have been in the news.
Yeah, they have been, yeah.
Armenian incels, just like you.
Yeah, well, that's another news blooper that we forgot to mention. There was the Toronto van massacre, and the guy, I think his name was Alec Minasian, one of my people. And I admittedly, like, a lot of people sent me this story, and I was like, holy shit.
First the YouTube shooter, now the Armenian incel.
You know, but, you know, it's what they say about celebrities, like, you know, it's time for baby to detonate her rest for mommy. But I was, like, reading about how this guy was Armenian and an incel, and I was like, holy fucking shit, that's me. And then I thought, like, I looked at his picture, and while I wasn't, like, immediately attracted to him, I was thinking, like, you know, I would have given this guy a pity blowjob to avert this whole disaster, this crisis.
Dentures in or dentures out?
Yeah.
Well, that's a fantasy of mine that I've made.
What, to suck off a school shooter?
Yeah, that I've made partners of mine sort of, like, play out with me, where they're, like, you know...
This was in your movie
with a duster.
Yeah, I wrote that.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh, I haven't seen your movie.
You'll see it, Maryland.
I will see that.
Oh, weekend after next. Fuck, I was gonna say something. Oh, I learned. Are you guys familiar with the phrase mental cell?
No.
I learned this looking into this Armenian guy. A mental cell is an incel. There's like a bunch of different kinds of incels, I guess, and a mental cell is one who is in celibate because it's like all in their head. Like they're like can be considered conventionally attractive by most, but because of some like
that's me.
Celibate neuroses.
Wait,
that's you.
Yeah, no, I mean so they're celibate.
They're involuntarily celibate.
So this isn't like a Proud Boy celibate where they
they're not vol. They're not vol cell.
Right. Okay.
They're incel. They would love to fuck, but they just can't because they have like a mental block.
Yeah. I think it's like an incel who identifies as sapiosexual.
They need some Roman.
Yeah, they need the Roman. Yeah. We should, they should hand out free Roman, but like
we will plug Roman on this pod.
Hit us up.
I will email you. This pod runs on
erectile dysfunction. We are a three-women war against neoliberalism and erectile dysfunction. But no, I was thinking about this whole thing about this whole question.
Pod needs a dick to ride.
I was thinking about, like, back to what you were saying, Dasha. I was thinking about this whole idea of charisma and all of these reports, like the New York Post, like probably the New York Times, the Cut or whatever, are all saying, this guy, he was so charismatic, he was so irresistible that of course all these people from like small-time actresses to like big-time religious leaders were piling onto his bandwagon. And I'm like, but is that really true? Was this guy really that charismatic, or are people just desperate and suggestible and want to believe in something? Like, how do you, what is the mechanism of joining a cult?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think
like
it does
take a base level of
snake oil salesmanship.
Yeah, absolutely. This is why one of the reasons right before I moved away from Ohio was I was kind of losing friends, because a lot of them, they kept going to LA and going to this conference hall out by LAX
called Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. No, but they were joining this cult, and it eventually, so many of my friends from Ohio joined.
What, Nexium?
It wasn't Nexium, but they would do shit like the cult leaders would make them go to the mall in like the valley and wear Forever 21 clothes that were 6 sizes too small, and it was a form of like embarrassment. So they would they would face their body like dysmorphia issues or whatever they were like insecure about.
Meg, this is just the plot of I Feel Pretty.
No, but so many of my friends joined this, and then they eventually opened up a chapter in Ohio. I'm sorry if any of you are listening.
They're probably not allowed to, so.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of disturbing, because it was like nothing else to do besides join a cult.
I mean, I think that this is a good point. A lot of people join cults because there's literally nothing else to do.
I mean, I've taken acting classes that had very cultish elements.
Yeah.
And again, actors, like, I remember the first day of this class that I ended up taking for like 2 years. I remember thinking, like, this should be criminal. Like, these people are so vulnerable. They're so raw and, like, stupid. And they're trying to do this thing that's really, like, mysterious. And someone's telling them that they have answers for them. And, of course, they're going to, like,
They're gonna bite, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna bite. They're gonna, like, do whatever it takes to be validated by this person. And then cut to, like, a year later, and I'm like, I'm in love with this gay Italian guy.
He's like,
I'll do anything for him to just give me a hug.
he's like, can you brand your colon with my initials?
So what else happened in the news? There was Babs
Barbara
died.
Well, yeah, speaking of jowly, low-slung women with bad politics, R.I.P. Barbara Bush. Rest in peace and white power.
Rest in peace and white power as the Women's March. Which
Did you guys go to the Women's March?
Well,
I did not.
Yeah, Dasha has a story about the Women's March. Do tell.
I inadvertently attended the Women's March this year on my way to a Soul Cycle class in downtown LA.
Guys, this is what improv is all about.
I woke up early to go to a Soul Cycle class, and on the train I noticed some women wearing pink pussy hats, and slowly it dawned on me what I had done. And when I got downtown, it was just a shit show of neoliberal women.
Of Darlene's.
And but I persisted. I pushed through and was like on my way to Soul Cycle, and this woman stopped me, and she was like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "The Women's March is that way." And I was like, "I'm not going to the Women's March." And she was like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I'm going to Soul Cycle." And she went, "Oh, bummer."
My own cult.
And and I became so enraged. Thank God I went to Soul Cycle so that I could work through it on the bike. But I was so infuriated by these women. It was like it literally ruined my day. And then after Soul, I went to Whole Foods, hit up the Hot Bar, and then on my way back to the train, I saw like a little girl holding a sign. And I had this moment where I was like, oh, you know what? I was like, maybe, like, fuck these cunts, obviously, but maybe all of this is worth it if, like, a child can feel, like, empowered in this, like, confusing, stupid world. Like, if she can feel a semblance of, like, solidarity with something, like, bigger than herself, like, maybe it'll all be worth it. And I, like, as I got closer to her, I looked at the sign, and on it, her mother, I assume, had scrawled, like, a Margaret Thatcher. And then I detonated my
I mean, Barbara Bush is like one of these women who is like kind of in a long line of Thatcherites, right?
Exactly, and she probably will, cut to 5 years from now, we'll be at a Women's March with a Barbara Bush quote.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking like Barbara Bush is actually one of the few famous people who can pretty comfortably drop dead without other people getting upset that it wasn't Henry Kissinger. Which is funny because she's kind of like Kissinger with tits. In the sense that she's like the kind of ultimate puppet master of an entire political dynasty and its like attendant ideology. And so a lot of people were upset because the Women's March Twitter came under fire for tweeting "Rest in peace and power Barbara Bush," which obviously goes.
It's almost as if the Women's March is inherently corrupt and stands for nothing.
Yeah. Would you look at that?
Besides like baseline representation for women of any kind, regardless of their politics.
Yeah, and it's like, and then people were also up in arms about that viral photo from Barbara Bush's funeral that featured, George W. Sr. in a wheelchair, flanked by the Obamas and the Clintons, and Melania Trump was there, Senza Donald. But, it's also almost like the two-party system is totally false and corrupt and stands for nothing.
Almost like it makes no difference at all.
Yeah, what party you vote for, But Barbara Bush
Well,
did
Trump didn't go out of respect.
out of respect.
What's that about?
For whomst?
I think because he didn't want to detract from the funeral.
Oh,
he would have been.
he's
It
such a
would have been
celebrity.
such a spectacle for him to be there. Again, narcissist.
Yeah, that's a real Kanye move.
Yeah, he's like, sorry I couldn't make it to your funeral, but it was actually for you.
Yeah.
I didn't want to overshadow your
I
untimely
mean, that's
death.
a boss move. You know what a real boss move would have been is if he had gone to the funeral and died. Really overshadowed her.
Well, her husband might.
Yeah.
He's in the
He should
hospital.
have
so-
died. Yeah, he's in
God.
intensive care now. And a lot of people are rightfully angry at Barbara Bush for her
She's
comments.
a monster.
Yeah, like her comments about the Katrina survivors when they were like relocated into like some dome in Texas, and she said, well, they're having a fine time about it because they're underprivileged
already.
And then during the Iraq War, which her son helped
Slave pod is a step up for you.
And then like during the Iraq War, that her son had kind of almost single-handedly with his advisors helped orchestrate. She talked about how she doesn't like it when her husband watches news reports because, the body count is going to happen anyway, and like it's better not to get worked up about like a body count in a foreign country. And of course there was her Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill from the memoir, and she talks about how, from her 1994 memoir, where she talks about where she says, I don't mean to sit in judgment, but I will never believe that she, a Yale School law graduate and a woman of the 80s, would put up with harassment for one moment, much less follow the harasser from job to job, call him when he came back into town, and later invite him to speak to her students at Oral Roberts University, which like I wish I went to Oral Roberts University. And like this passage is sort of being bandied about now by like liberal and leftist outlets, kind of as being awful in the same degree as her comments about Katrina in Iraq. And that's the one thing
actually fairly sound. Yeah.
I actually don't. The one thing that Barbara Bush and I can agree on is this Clarence Thomas business, because it's funny that.
Wow, you're aligning with the enforcer.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's funny because liberal feminists unanimously rallied behind Hill while her Senate hearing was going down, because Thomas was, of course, a conservative Supreme Court appointee. But they not only publicly disowned, but very publicly tried to smear Paula Jones and Monica Lewinsky when they came forward with their allegations against Bill Clinton. And just like the point that I want to make is that these allegations were, by the way, far worse than anything that Thomas stood accused of, which
Absolutely.
was,
and Monica Lewinsky was like a 20-year-old busty intern.
Yeah, and Thomas was almost exclusively accused of making comments of they were things of a verbal nature, like he made comments about the female anatomy, or he was pressuring women for dates and saying kind of sexually suggestive things. Bill Clinton, I was reading about Paula Jones, he propositioned her and exposed himself to her, and then he copped like a series of blowjobs from Monica Lewinsky. He put a cigar in her vagina,
pussy.
in a taxpayer-funded office, in the highest office of the land. And, where there was a really gross disparity of power. And Poglia says this really well, because liberal feminists love to talk about the coercion and, like, the disparity of power. And there's a situation where there is a really huge disparity of power, yet they chose to sweep it under the rug for their, like, beloved liberal candidate. And that's, like, you can't... So when people come out with these comments, and they try to put them in the same bracket as the Katrina and Iraq comments to sort of critique Barbara Bush, it only weakens our argument. Yeah.
Go off.
Yeah.
Go off, Anna.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I think that's
All right.
the
Well,
show, yeah?
yeah. So, what's going on next week? We're taking a field trip.
That's weekend after
Oh,
next. We
okay.
should record before then. But yeah, we will be at the Maryland Film Festival. If anyone wants to see my movie, Wobble Palace, it screens on Friday the 4th, and then Sunday the 6th in Baltimore.
I will be there for
And
other
Pumpkin's
reasons.
doing a live show Sunday night.
And I will try to be and I'm going to try to tag along in the trunk, like the Ukrainian sex trafficking victim I am.
Get in my sex pod.
And remember, guys, we
rented Tahoe.
We have a Patreon now.
Don't forget.
Don't forget about us.
We'll remind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this episode's late because I had to work my normal job.
Yeah.
So,
Real neoliberalism hours.
daddy. Alright,
See you in hell.
we'll see you in hell.